Okay, we're gonna do a little demo today on how to clean your dog's ears. We're gonna use little Maxwell here. He's a nice little dog, and we'll give you some pointers on what you can do at home to make your life a little easier if you have to do this. Frequently, we need to clean out dogs' ears. Sometimes for just regular grooming, they just get a little dirty, and we need to keep them clean. Or sometimes dogs will get ear infections, and we want to clean out some of that discharge associated with the ear infections. It's a pretty common thing for us to see. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we have some supplies that we're going to use. What I like to do is just make sure we have an appropriate ear wash. These are things that we frequently will send home with clients if they have an ear infection things, but you can even go to the pet store and get some general cleansers if you're just doing this as just a regular routine thing that don't necessarily have any medication in them. I really like to use some cotton. It's nice and soft. It's not going to be irritating to their ears at all, and works out, I think, the best. I have a few little long Q-tips here we're also going to use. One of the key things I would say is I don't like people to stick these actually down in their ear canal, but as we get a little into this, they do have some little folds and crevices in their ears. Sometimes these can work good to get some discharge out in these little small areas, but I would never stick these down in the ear canal and work that, just like you or I. You don't want to damage their eardrum or anything. Okay? So we really have two ways that we can clean ears with dogs. One thing we can do is actually put the ear wash right down into their ear canal and fill up their ear canal, and then just wipe it out with some dry cotton. Frequently they'll start shaking their head, and that ear wash will go flying all over the place, and so I generally don't like to do that. What I really like to do is I usually like to take some cotton and then put some of the cleaner right onto the cotton here, so that it's got a little bit on there. It doesn't have to be dripping off or anything, but just enough to kind of get that a little bit moist so that we can wipe out this ear. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to just flip up this flap of the ear here so we can kind of see down in there. You can kind of see with Maxwell has a lot of hair and things, so we want to just get that out of the way. And then we're just going to take this, and just as much as your finger will let you kind of get down into their ear canal, you just want to go and very, very gently wipe out any little bit of discharge and thing that's in here. You don't want to go any farther than your finger will let you go in there. You don't want to really stick this down there too far and cause them any discomfort or anything like that. You just want to very gently, as much as your finger can easily go in there, wipe that out. So once we have that wiped out with the ear wash, I always like to go back in with some dry cotton, and then the dry cotton will just make sure we wipe out any moisture that's in there, because if we leave some moisture in there, that's going to predispose them to having an ear infection and things. So always finish up with some dry cotton after you're done with the wet pieces. In using these Q-tips, again, we don't want to stick these all the way down in the ear canal, but when we have some little areas around here where there's some little folds around this cartilage in this ear, these are where you can use these in little areas like this, just to get a little bits of these things that collect in there. But don't stick this down in the canal. We're just doing right here at the opening of it, any little areas that have a little bit of stuff stuck on them. And so that's the basic procedure. We'll show you one more time, because Maxwell has two ears, so we have to do both of them, right? So we'll start out with the cotton. We'll squirt some ear wash on there, so it just has a little bit of moisture on it. Flip up that ear canal, or that ear flap, I should say, so you can see down in that ear canal, and just gently, as much as your finger will allow you to kind of get down into that ear canal, wipe out any little bit of discharge that's there. After we do that, always finish up with some dry cotton as well to make sure that you don't leave any moisture behind there and predispose them to getting an ear infection. And then you can also finish up with some few little Q-tips if in some of these little areas around here, around the cartilage, that you need to get some of the discharge out of there that you couldn't get with your finger because it's just too big. So when we're all done, you know, this is what we should look like. We should see a nice clean ear, no discharge. We can see down in there very clearly. There's no odor coming out of there. So Maxwell has nice clean ears today, and that should be pretty easy for you to do at home, especially if you have a nice little dog like Maxwell who doesn't seem to mind us messing with him too much.